Hi, guys. It's Nicole Banks with the NicheWork. Really happy to have Predictive Social Media in the house today. We are working with their founder and head salesperson, and we're going to go over what they're about, their history and experience, what Predictive Social Media is, why it's a game changer for businesses, and how we can help you implement using your friends to fuel your business. So, first off, let's go ahead and talk with Jim, the founder of Predictive Social Media. Jim, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and your experience?
Definitely. First of all, Nicole, thank you for having me. I love the energy here with this company. So a little bit about myself. I am 46 years old. Been an entrepreneur for 28 years, and that's it. I'm just really excited to be here and help make a difference.
Awesome. Short, sweet, to the point. We love it. All right. And Rich, can you go into some more detail about your.
Yeah, well, I'm 48 years old and really just all about people and relationships my whole life. I've been in sales for a long time. And what's always been there is the connections that and the experience is really what I'm driving home every time I'm out and about doing my thing.
Awesome. Yeah, that's great. So, predictive social media, for those that may not know what it is, can you guys describe it, what it is, why it's important for business owners, and how it can help them?
Absolutely. So at Predictive Social Media, we have this really deep belief that every single business, no matter how small, how big, nonprofit, for profit, it doesn't matter. Anyone that is marketing a product or service online, we believe that they should be able to grow through relationships as their foundation, above and beyond advertising. The foundation has to be relationships. And we believe that can happen if one, they never run out of people to talk to, because then they'll have more than enough people to build relationships with. But number two is you have to know your conversion rate. You have to know how many relationships you need to build in order to convert one customer or one referral. So in our case, I've been doing this for 28 years and we got it down to 1 in 5. So it's exciting to be able to know we can build all these authentic, beautiful relationships with our potential customers, knowing that 1 in every 5 is going to become a customer or a referral is very exciting. And that can all happen in what we call a Six Sigma endorsed system. And if it's Six Sigma endorsed, meaning it has that predictive element to it, it works. And that's what predictive social media is all about.
That's great. So, for those that don't know or aren't familiar with Six Sigma, I know that's a huge deal in the corporate world. Can you explain more about what that is and why this being a social media based Six Sigma is such a big game changer?
First, let's think about what Six Sigma has done so we can kind of connect the dots. So we're Rich and I are here in Phoenix, Arizona. A lot of people don't even know, but the city of Phoenix uses Six Sigma as a city, as a local government agency. They use it to run Phoenix better. The city of Houston uses it, Houston, Texas. It's also taught at major institutions, ASU, Arizona State University. You can actually get your certification in Six Sigma at ASU, Harvard, Cornell, and many, many other ones. And then you look at government agencies, the United States Postal Service, Social Security Administration, the Marine Corps, Army, and a bunch of others also use it. NASA uses it to run these agencies better. And then companies, Amazon, Google, 3M, Boeing, AT&T, Verizon. I can keep going on and on and on. It's literally over 300 and some of the 500 largest companies in the United States. They all use it. So now the question is, okay, that's unbelievable. Like, why are they using it though? They use it because in the end, what it does is it gives them a predictive result. So the people in all of these things, what happens is they all go through this learning platform and they learn what's called a process. And when they learn the process good enough, they can get what's called a black belt certification in it. So it's learning. They're learning how to apply certain processes to their company so their companies run way better, more efficiently, makes more money, and it gives a predictive result every time. So then how is that compared to predictive social media? We've taken the Six Sigma framework of how they do that. We applied it to social media and we end up getting a predictive result every time.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. So how did you become affiliated with Six Sigma and have your program be affiliated with Six Sigma?
Wow. So the first time I was introduced to Six Sigma, this could probably be like a 30-minute story, but I'll give you the super short version.
Sure.
I never heard of Six Sigma before 2010, 2011. I had no idea that even existed. I happened to meet the creator of Six Sigma. The guy actually invented it. And when we met, it was so amazing. He basically, at the time, I owned a social media agency here in Phoenix. We had about 500 small businesses that we were managing all their social media throughout the valley, and we were the largest agency in the whole valley. And this was going back to 2010. And so I meet the owner, the creator, and he asked me what my biggest package was. I told him, and he just bought it, but he had no idea what it was. And I'm like, should I go over our service to you? And he goes, no, I have no interest in using your service. I just want to let you know that I'm serious about working with you. And he goes, nice to meet you. My name is Dr. Michael Harry. And then he looked me dead in the eye and he said, I just changed your life. And I walked out thinking, this is a smart aleck. Who is this guy?
Right.
And so I reached out to my business partner that had the agency with me and I'm telling him, and he goes, it's impossible that it's the creator of Six Sigma, Jim. You don't understand how big Six Sigma is.
Yeah.
There's no way in the world that guy was in front of you today. I got back. I looked at the picture online and it was him. I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. So now fast forward, we spend probably 7, 8 years together, and he passed recently. And during that time, he was been so inspiring. Uh, Getting into his brain and him sharing things with me just blew my mind. He taught me how to think system. He taught me how to think based on processes, sequences, and timing. He taught me how to take literally anything and put it into a process and get a predictive result. So I build this predictive social media. I've been doing it since the 90s, but I never did it inside of a system. It was just me applying it. And when I met him, I was thinking, wow, maybe I can take all the stuff I've been doing for almost 20 years at this point, and maybe I can put it into a system. That way I can just hand it off to businesses instead of me needing to come in and actually train them. And that's what started kind of taking Six Sigma and what I was already doing and combining it. And that's how that journey began. And he's an amazing man. His brain was just incredibly deep.
Yeah, that's amazing. I mean, to find those people that inspire you and then can mentor you or and then partner with you,
Mhm.
that's definitely the goal for many business owners and entrepreneurs. So I know that you guys kind of hit the ground running in January, and I met Rich at a networking event. Can you talk about your kind of exposure and coming into the Phoenix area in January and kind of where you're at from then till now?
Yeah, I'll share. So Jim and I met back in 2008. Just a little backstory on it, and then I'll take it to present. But and we became friends, acquaintances throughout time. And he wrote a few books, and one of them was Predictive Social Media. And really, my sales background was always lead gen, and I really wasn't responsible for the relationship part of things. And when there was no leads, there was no sales, right? And I would be scrambling to the point like I need a sale now, so I got to reach out to family and friends. This has got to be what relationships all about, And I destroyed a lot of real relationships that way. And people said, "Rich, why are you calling? I don't need offense, right?" And I couldn't come across as authentic, so I figured, well, that's what social media is for. I'm going to build a whole bunch of relationships on there. I say in quotes, right? And that's going to be a great sales tool. Well, I destroyed that too, right? And all along, as we were back and forth, he's kind of whispering in my ear through his books and through the meetings that we had. It's like, man, I see you as relationships is the key. I mean, you're in sales, but that's your gift. And I was like, yeah, okay, great. But I got to stay in my lane where I'm at. I got a family to feed, and maybe I'll look into that one day. Right. And what I really started seeing is the authenticity. I couldn't communicate what I had inside to the outside world. And that's what really drew me into the system, because the system at its core is a bunch of tiny things that make up the entirety, right? And one of them was core values. And it was realizing how to communicate who you are and how to, once you learn that, you see things in a very different way. And it started to transform my work that I was doing in sales, which drew me nearer to the system. Because I'm like, wow, if I learn this from that part, what how different could it be? And so I started, I didn't know any better. I said, hey, I can't connect with people because everybody thinks I'm inauthentic. So what are you doing that it's all about relationships? So I started learning pieces and parts, and we started talking more and more. And I started realizing his dream was always to take it to the mass market. And a little bit I learned through him, and a lot I learned through his books. Because when you have a friend that's an author, you can see, and he's like, "How do you even know that?"
Right.
And so we talked back and forth, and we decided to build this project on this platform to offer it on a mass scale. And I said, the only problem is I don't know anybody in Arizona, and I'm not really good at creating relationships. At least my brain thought that. And he said, it's okay, just follow the system. Right. So I started befriending people, reaching out in a very warm way, telling them that the things I love, coffee and hiking, and hey, we're launching a company and you know Jim and I know Jim. And people started responding back, and I was blown away. I said, well, it's either the system or people are really nice out here. Okay. So,
Or both.
or both. That's really what it translated to. However, it kept blooming from there. And I had friends reaching out to me saying, hey, I have networking events. You should come and see us. Right. And so my schedule started filling in, and we thought, well, it's a great way to do it. Right. So morning networking events and afternoon and luncheons and these connections. I'll never forget. I had landed here. I was here maybe 2 days. Right. And I was at a networking event, and this guy tapped me on the shoulder, and I looked over, and he says, really great to see all your family Thanksgiving and Christmas. And I'm like, how does he know that? And then I realized I had connected to him, right, all through predictive social media. And the woman across to me, she said, oh, I've known you for years. How come I don't know this guy? And she looked on her phone, and she's like, he's connected to 20 of my friends. And this guy said, yeah, you really need to get to know him. He's a good guy, right? And right away I was humbled, and she said, how long have you lived here? And I said, 48 hours, right? And the system was really just exponentially connecting me. And it was just amazing. So here was this guy that was really not good at relationship building, right? Uh, didn't know what to do. So I used predictive social media just to build that. And 3 months later here, I'm in the Phoenix Valley. I'm connected to 960 people that I'm in authentic relationship. And when I pick up the phone, they actually say, hey, Rich, how are you? Which is amazing to me. And I wanted to start this system. If I wanted to represent what it was, I wanted to start it the same way everybody did. And I did that. And I'm only 20% through that process with those connections and people moving forward when the life experience is right for them.
It's amazing. A lot of success. So, as someone who's going through the program and kind of working it through and seeing the benefits of it, what would you tell business owners who might be on the fence of starting predictive social media or understanding social media as part of their larger marketing?
Right. Well, I'll tell you, there's a lot of shiny tools out there, and every single day there's something new, right? And we want to gravitate to listening to the stories of what those things can actually do. We buy a book, we buy a tool, it sounds good, and we leave it on the shelf, right? And what a system is it's really pieces and parts of all those golden things brought into one pool. And so, really, my advice is find a system that you can execute, stick to it, right? And you'll see massive results. And all the way through, what this requires of them is to be authentic. And they have to go in without expectation, knowing that they're wanting to create a relationship, regardless if it becomes a client or not. And when that happens, the system will blow them away.
Yeah, 100%. Full disclosure, I am going through the system as well. And one thing I'll say that I've really appreciated is the hands on approach that you guys both have to the group, to the members, and really building a community. I know you guys started the daily Zooms and, that whole bit, but can you, Jim, expand kind of upon the mission and what you're looking to do here in the Phoenix Valley as we move forward?
So in a Phoenix Valley, we looked at the whole market and we recognized there's about 500,000 businesses here in the Phoenix Valley. And we would love to help all of them. Seeing people have breakthrough and succeed is very fulfilling for me. I'm all about helping people elevate and become the best version of themselves. So for me personally, I want to help all 500,000. Reality is people have different life experiences, so we know that's not possible. So ultimately, what we're going to do is we know that our conversion rate is 1 in 5. It's been 1 in 5 for about 14 to 15 years. So we know that we'll help 100,000. And we know we'll do that over the next 3 to 5 years is our game plan. So our goal locally is take 100,000 of these different businesses, empower them to never run out of people to talk to, and uplift their business. And the joy that it will bring Rich, myself, our team is going to be way over the top, because businesses that would normally have failed are not going to fail. Businesses that struggle for it to hit a certain dollar amount are going to be able to go beyond it. And now they're going to be able to hire people. When they hire that new person, maybe that person was had a hard time finding a job and now they're employed. Now imagine how that impacts personal lives. Families get better. You get a better mom, a better dad, a better husband, a better wife. This is way beyond the fact that we're going to elevate businesses. When businesses become more successful, you elevate their personal lives. So now we're making a bigger impact in a valley at a personal level. And that's what gets me really excited, is how can we make a difference in the valley? And we'll build a worldwide business because it's the nature of social media. But I can't wait to see the breakthroughs that are happening here. In fact, this morning, somebody started using a system about 2 days ago. And in their particular business, they were struggling a lot. And they sent a message this morning, 2 days later, so excited that they just got their first customer in their business. And to see the joy in that person, it's so, like, for me, it's emotional, because I'm like, yes, we're making a difference. We're making a breakthrough for people. And I think that's what everyone wants. Just, I don't want to get sold on all the flashy stuff and chase all the fancy marketing. Can you just show me something that works? Because I want to go and live a good life.
Yeah, no, 100%. So we've kind of talked about businesses at large. Are there any sort of specific businesses that you work with? Is it kind of anybody you can help? Can you go into more detail about what your target audience is?
The audience today, long term, our goal is to disrupt business, which means over time, we're going to be working with all types of businesses. We'll be working with startups 5 years from now, but we'll be working with Fortune 100 companies, because they all use Six Sigma already. Like, one day I do see us working with American Express and Ford and Amazon, because relationships. However, today, where we are right now, is we're all about the small business owner. We're all about that affiliate person, the solopreneur, someone that's working for themselves in their home and it just needs breakthrough. But then also that quote unquote small business. Maybe they have 1 or 2 employees, they have a small office, they're just getting started. Those are the ones that we said, you know what, we're going to focus on them first. But it's only been 4 weeks and we've already started moving into companies where there's a group of people like financial advisors or realtors. One of them has over 100 realtors and they're super excited about this. So we're already moving into the company stage too. And it's like, how fast can we empower people?
Yeah, that's amazing. So for, solopreneurs and, those owner operators who have a ton of things on their shoulders, social media can seem just like another task. What would you do to recommend that people start their social medias and implement your program?
30 minutes or less.
Ooh, all right.
Mm-hmm.
Rich, I kind of liked your voice when you said that.
Yeah, you like that?
You're like,
yeah,
that's
that's
like
right.
anyone watching this that needs to hire him for a commercial that might be needed. You're like 30 minutes or less.
Client experience is key to me. It really is. And I can't tell you how many times I've heard that people say, I don't have time to spend online all day. And I'm like, well, that's because we end up going down rabbit holes, right? And plus, what we're doing, we don't know it's actually making a difference. We just know we're supposed to be on there, right?
Mhm.
So if we can do the right things in the right order, and then if somebody wants to go down a rabbit tail for 3 hours, that's up to them. But that's not the system. And what I've experienced in the last 3 months with the growth that I've had and the connections that I've made, people go, "Oh, Rich, it's all you." I did that to pave the way, right? I did that to say, I don't know any other way that I'm going to follow this book, because in the past what I did didn't work,
Mhm.
right? And what makes me so excited, back to what Jim was saying, is that client experience. And if we can do it in 3 days, if we can do it in a week, to give them a taste of what I've done in 3 months, it's going to change the way they see what's possible for them, right? And long term, it's the empowerment, one of the first stories that I heard when I got out here, right? I was in a networking event, and one of the owners stood up of the company, and she said she spent $20,000 in advertising and got zero return, and that punches me in the gut. I grew up in a family of entrepreneurs, and we were really good at the marketing side of things. We weren't the best at the metrics, financial number side of things. And Jim really helped me see. I knew the importance of both, but I wasn't following both all the time, and I was following that pattern of my family.
Yeah.
And as I get older, I saw the pattern in my family with all the dreams and the goals that they had. A lot of that stuff doesn't exist around us anymore because of that. So I felt that right away. And I thought, wow, if we can empower someone to figure out their metrics, their conversion rates, to know what an authentic organic relationship would actually give them, and they can partner with us for a year and see that grow, right? And we're excited for them, but what they're going to receive is that same advertising agency may come in at that point, and they can stand strong and say, hey, I know what I'm doing using organic relationships. You may or may not be able to help me, but I'd love to see what you offer. And from a standpoint there, it's not like putting a blindfold on and throwing darts at a dartboard. Right. So it's really the empowerment piece that I get most excited about, but they have to taste it first. And so that's what I want to see happen immediately for our clients.
Yeah, no, I think that's amazing. So being part of the program myself, one of the things that I've taken apart from it is that your guys' willingness and eagerness to build a community of people using the program to collaborate, to network, to grow together. Can you explain more about your vision in that and what you're looking to do in Phoenix?
So from a community aspect, predictive social media, if you break it down, it's broken down into 7 C's. And when you do certain steps within each of those, you get that predictive result I keep talking about. So one of those C's is community. So it's very natural for us to build a community because it's the system. And so that's why we do it. We're doing it with intention. So we walk the walk. We are building this company using this system. Then that way it becomes an inspiration for everyone else. So the first is, it is the system. That is why we do community. What we're looking to do here locally is not only do we want to have a virtual experience for everybody, we also want to have a face-to-face experience. We want to build a community that is not only having success with the system, but also we want to build a community where everyone can come together and do business together. So as we roll this out, you're going to see events popping up all over the valley. You're going to see predictive social media networking events where the goal is to bring everyone that's already using a system together. Now imagine going into a networking event and every single person there is already using a system. And top of mind, everyone is thinking relationship. That's different when they all come in. They're immediately like a family. Hey, what do you do? What do you do? The level of conversation is going to be very high because that's what they're all trained on. So everyone's looking to figure out, how can I help you? How can I help you? It's no longer about me. It's about you. And that's going to be powerful in our networking events. And then the other is building a lot of educational workshops around the valley and having these workshops for an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours in one day where you can just come in, sit down with a large group of us and learn the system hands-on all throughout the valley, everywhere. And that also makes that community more powerful. So if we all lock arms together, every single business that uses this, if we all lock arms together, the odds of success increase significantly. If you're out there trying to do your own business all by yourself, it's a struggle.
No, 100%. I can attest to that one. So as you guys are moving forward and that whole bit, obviously we'd love to grow the amount of subscribers and people in the program. Let's hear your shtick. Join the program, what it costs. Can you give us all those details for the listeners?
Maybe we both give our own version. Huh?
Okay.
I love it.
Go first, sir.
So re-ask that question again so I'm clear on it.
Yeah, sure. So let's hear the sales shtick. Why should people join you? Have a one-on-one with you to learn more about predictive social media, sign up, drink the Kool-Aid, however you want to put it.
I love when you say that. Yeah.
But how would you like people to contact you to learn more and ultimately to be a member of predictive social media?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, It's really all about you. It's the person in front of me. What they're trying to do is get the word out about what they do, and we help them do that. I can do that as an individual, and I network for them out in the community, become a sales extension of who they are. But our product can do that exponentially for them with predictable results. So it's really for the sales professional and the business owner that never, if they want to never run out of people to talk to, because they don't want to worry about having, customers that aren't there, right? So if we can give them that peace of mind that they're never going to worry about that, then that solves one problem. And people usually ask, well, how are you going to do that? Right. And what's different about what we do is it's a relationship building system. As I shared, it's not tools, it's not advertising, it's not leads. And when people see the word social media on my shirt, they go, whoa, I never really heard that before about social media. So that is very unique. And how do you do it? Well, it's an online learning platform, right? We also know that there's other things we're putting together because people like to learn differently, different styles of learning. So there's the book, which is the context of what it was written. And then we can get hands-on workshops where people like tactile and that type of thing. So it's the course itself it's a membership to give them access to it, and then live coaching, Zoom calls. And that's version with the book, so they have that part of it. If they feel like it's very important to them to have the tactile feel, um, and also have access to those events, it would be a month level. So, and we're also putting together. We have clients asking us what it would be, um, to have access to the whole course all at once. So we're looking at that as well.
And then in addition to that, that was fantastic. We also have company options as well, where companies can come in and take basically licenses so that they can bring in all of their groups of people, say like a sales team, realtor team, mortgage team, insurance team, or their own little team that they have of say 4 or 5 people. They can go on one of our company plans, uh, and and then there's larger plans as well if they're bigger companies. And the biggest thing is this: the comfort and confidence of a risk-free opportunity. That's what we want people to really listen to right now. We don't want to be these really, like Rich and I don't want to be these people that just can talk really well and we sell you on it, because that's not relationship building. What we want you to do is get in there, go to work because you love the idea of building relationships, and work it for an entire year. You're going to see results in the first 30 days. So if you're already good at building relationships, you're going to see customers. If you're not good at building relationships, you might not see customers because we have to teach you it. But what you're going to see is a lot of people talking to you where you're like, oh my gosh, there's so many people. I've never had this many people before. You will notice one of those in the first 30 days. But what we want you to do is say, you know what, I'm going to work with them for 12 months so I can really learn predictive social media the right way. And if you make that commitment to us, this is our commitment back to you. We know there's shiny objects out there. We know there's things that it's hard to compare. So we do a 1 year money back guarantee for an entire year based on 2 guarantees. And you can read about the guarantees when you check us out. But the reason we do that is because there's so much out there. It's so hard to tell what is good and what's not good. It's not to actually give a refund. As one person said to us that enrolled recently, they go, when they heard about the money back, they said, "Where do I sign up?" And I said, "I'm curious. Why did you like sign up so fast?" And they go, "It's quite simple. If you're willing to give me a 1 year money back based on these guarantees, which I would love to happen in my business, and you're willing to do that, it tells me this system absolutely works. Because if it did not work, you wouldn't be able to afford all these money backs." So I can't imagine anyone asking for a money back. You're just kind of showing, hey, there's so much noise out there. This is how we're going to separate ourselves from all the noise by doing this. And we can do that for one reason: Six Sigma. It's a predictive result. That's why we can do it. So anyone watching this, jump in if you believe in relationships, and know that you're protected for an entire year. And just for the record, Nicole is not getting paid for this. There's no endorsement thing going on. This is just a fun conversation of we just care about relationships and wanting to help people. And every opportunity we get, we want to do that.
Yeah, 100%. No, definitely agree. So as we close this interview, final words, I would love for you guys to kind of lay it all out. Is there anything else that we haven't covered that you want to cover? Any last words to potential listeners? I leave it to you, Rich.
Okay. Well, I appreciate that. You saw me looking at you, huh? Yeah. I think about this somewhat when people say, Rich, you're outgoing, that kind of thing. It's a lot of what you do has to do with your success. And the reality is there's a piece of me that is, but there's a lot of me that's introverted too. Um, the secret really is it has to be from the top down. And this is one thing when we put the mission and the vision together. When we say it's all about you, the other person, we're not kidding, right?
100%.
When we say it's about relationships, it's not just a word.
Mm-hmm.
The key is when people partner with us, the reason that people buy things is they feel, what are you going to do for me? What's your product going to do for me? The moment they partner with us, the me has to leave them. That is difficult.
Mm-hmm.
Now it has to become all about the relationship, the people that they're trying to connect with, just like we do them. They have to let go of the expectation 100%.
Yeah.
If they do that, the system will take care of the rest. I honestly, there's a lot of math that goes behind it, and this guy loves that part. I don't know how that works. But I have the ability to let that go, right? And that's the magic behind it. And when people can just love the process, they'll see phenomenal results.
Profound. I like it. Perfect. All right. And for you, Jim?
How can I?
Hey.
What can I say after this?
You brought him in, so
Yeah,
this is on you now.
Wow, Rich, that was deep. All right. I'm just going to say something simple. Nicole, we really appreciate you. We're very thankful that you invited us on the show. We love the way that you operate and how you conduct business. And that's what made us want to take time out and actually be here. And so if we could connect to more people like you, then we can get to make a difference. And so for everyone out there, if you are looking to build a business through relationships and you're just a tiny bit open-minded about, well, maybe there's a way to do it systemized, not how I'm currently doing it, but in a very structured way that can get me way more results than I'm currently getting. And if you're open-minded of, yes, you're probably on LinkedIn and Facebook and all these social media sites, but is it possible that there might be a better way to do these, even though you might have been on them for the last 10 years? Is it possible that there might be a more effective way? If you're open to that, I encourage you to just take a look at this, and we would love to work with you.
Awesome. I think that's great. So then I will do the shameless plug then. So, definitely recommend Predictive Social Media. It's been a game changer for me in my business. Helping others to implement it has been a real passion project between myself, Rich, and Jim. Definitely recommend that you check it out. There's a book that goes through everything, but obviously the program is where you want to spend your money, your time, and be part of that larger community that Predictive Social Media is building here in the Valley. So please check it out. We will have the link in the comments so you can check it out. We can schedule one-on-ones with Rich so he can go over and answer all your questions and work on those ships that he is so passionate about doing. So again, thank you guys both so much for taking the time to spend it with me and go over Predictive Social Media, your histories and experience and your goals here in the Valley and beyond. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Nicole.
Thank you.